This is probably the smallest full-frame cinema camera in the world, the sigmafp. Hello, my name is Ole. Welcome to the second episode of my sigmafp masterclass. The sigmafp has a dynamic range of 12.5 stops. Now we have to look at the differences between ISO and CineEI. ISO is applying analog gain, meaning the further you push it upwards, the more noise you will introduce to your picture. The dynamic range distribution between highlights and shadows though stays the same until noise is eating up your shadows. CineEI is different. It is using digital gain only to adjust the preview brightness of your screen. Therefore, if you're putting a low ISO value, you will having a low and a dark preview, whereas if you're putting a high value, you will getting a very bright image. This basically forces you to adjust exposure via aperture and or ND filters. What's the use of that? Basically, the use of it is that you can change the distribution of highlight versus shadow stops. So if you want a very dark and moody scene, you usually would opt for something like a lower ISO value, whereas in a very bright scene, you're opting for a higher ISO value to have more stops over middle gray to save highlight information and have a little bit more safe room for highlight roll-off. The sigmafp has got a dual native ISO sensor. What does this mean? It means that you have got two channels with very similar noise structure. Let's talk about the sigmafp's ISO behavior. The sigmafp has three different types of RAW: 8, 10 and 12-bit RAW. In 8 and 10-bit, you're only having analog gain, whereas for 12-bit, you have got CineEI, but only in certain ranges. The sigmafp has got two native ISO channels. The first one being between ISO 100 and 800, and the second one being between 3200 and 5000. What is native ISO in this case? Well, basically in a RAW camera, this is up to you. You decide what kind of distribution between highlight and shadows you want to have, and additionally as well what kind of noise structure or texture you like. In the first channel, I prefer something to have which is very balanced, and there's no better choice than ISO 800, because it's exactly equal between shadows and highlight stops. The second one, 3200, has a little bit less highlight room, but therefore is slightly cleaner, so I prefer that for the second native ISO channel. Thank you for watching. I'm looking forward to see you back on the next episode where we discuss exposure strategies.